So I don't know if you've heard, but the country is sort of on fire. A lot of you have been asking me to make a video covering what's been happening with the bushfires, but I don't really know what value I can add to that conversation that hasn't already been better covered by literally everyone ever. But if you didn't already know that Australia is just hella burning at the moment, then here's a summary. Over 8 million hectares of land has burned in the Australian bushfires so far, but honestly I've heard figures up to like 14 million. I'm not sure if anyone knows exactly just yet. But in any event, the scale of these bushfires far exceeds something like the California bushfires, and it's even twice as big or more now than the Amazon fires. For those of you not living in Australia, this is about how big the fires are for comparison. The fire front, if it were put into a straight line, would create an unbroken line of fire stretching from New York all the way to LA, then all the way back to New York, and then all the way back to LA, and then back at least as far as Indiana. And that figure is already outdated. That's the length of the fire front in just one state. Keep in mind too that Australia is roughly the same size as the United States. There are entire towns that don't actually exist anymore, and about 500 million animals are presumed dead. The fires, even though it's only just kind of become internationally recognized, have actually been burning for about 3 months and will probably keep burning for at least another 3 months. The biggest evacuation in New South Wales history is currently underway. People are camping out on the beach because it's the only remotely safe place to be while these massive fires burn their towns. My camera audio cut out, so we're just gonna wing this. Breathing the air in Sydney at the moment is around the equivalent to inhaling a pack of cigarettes. The air quality was so bad in Canberra that Australia Post couldn't operate, people were being sent home from work, and some hospital services couldn't be used. Even New Zealand is copping the smoke from our fires and is turning their glaciers yellow, and more recently, smoke has actually reached South America. To New Zealand, that means smoke is covering about the same distance as London to St. Petersburg or from Miami to Boston. The smoke from the fires are creating their own weather patterns, this type of cloud, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce right now, and literal fire tornadoes. Fire tornadoes. The average recorded temperature in Australia, which was a national record, was 40.9 degrees Celsius. At least it was for a day, because then the next day it was broken by a whole degree and reached up to 41.9 degrees Celsius. Penrith, which is near Sydney, hit 48.9 degrees Celsius, making it one of the hottest places on Earth. Some bacterial growth stops at around 60 degrees, so we're kind of getting a bit close, guys. 1/3 of the koala population is dead, and about 30% of their habitat has been destroyed. And now we're back. Kangaroo Island, which was funnily enough a safe haven for koalas because it separated them from the chlamydia epidemic, caught fire and more or less wiped out the entire koala population there. Another koala population in Crestwood, which was nicknamed the Gene Pool because of their good health, has been wiped out as well. 23 people have died, and that death toll keeps changing. Some firefighters have died, and I'm not even sure if we have figures yet on how many people are displaced or homeless. And while this was happening, our Prime Minister took off to Hawaii for a holiday, even though his last holiday was in like June, tried to lie about it, got caught out, insisted he was trying to get back as soon as possible because apparently there are no flights from Honolulu to Sydney running, came back basically when he was going to come back anyway and tried to rebrand that as if he had come home early. He's been walking around forcing residents who have lost their towns and homes to shake his hand when they don't want to. He's also forcing volunteer firefighters off their welfare benefits because they can't apply for jobs while they're busy saving the entire country. And instead of helping people that actually need help, he was a lot more happy to just hand out 110 grand to his church for absolutely no reason. A church that is already insanely loaded and also doesn't pay any tax. All in all, he's handling one of the most catastrophic events in Australian history with the grace of a 3-legged baby deer trying to juggle, and saying that he has the emotional depth of a teaspoon is incredibly generous. So now that you're all caught up, I thought it would be better to stay in my lane and shed light on the silver linings in this fiery mess. That's bad wording. Because while our political leaders have been fumbling around trying to act like human beings, there have been a lot of everyday, regular Australians doing incredibly selfless things. There are so many examples of people sacrificing their own health or comfort or possessions or finances to help the animals and people affected by the fires. Whether that's people working directly in the fires or regular Australians chipping in or people overseas. So with that being said, let's start with the fireys who, despite getting completely fucked over by our Prime Minister Scott Morrison, have been buying equipment to fight the fires out of their own money sometimes, have been putting themselves in horrifically dangerous situations to get these fires under control, and all in all have stepped up to do what not many of us would ever be willing to do. They probably won't ever get the individual recognition that they deserve, but I hope at least at the end of this, our taxpayer money is used to give them a fat payout. Alongside fireys being badasses, the Koala Hospital in Port Macquarie has a GoFundMe that has reached around $3.5 million, and they only initially asked for $25,000 to help out koalas that had been injured in the fires. Initially, they just planned to put in 12 drinking stations around the affected areas, but now they're able to buy 100 drinking stations, a water trailer to refill them all, and they've also established the world's first wild wild koala breeding program to help re-establish populations in areas affected by the fires. So many businesses have been donating 50% or 100% of their profits for 24 hours or a weekend, whatever it is, and donating that to the RFS. Flume donated 100k, Miley Cyrus donated 3 million and 2 whole planes filled with like 60,000 litres of water. Pink donated $500,000. The women's #1 tennis player Ashley Barty donated her prize money from the Brisbane International to the fire appeal. Nicole Kidman donated $500,000. Alan donated, I don't even know how much, to a few organisations. Selena Gomez donated. Chris Hemsworth donated 1 million. Will Connolly, aka Eggboy, and Magda have started a GoFundMe for mental health support for the people affected by the fires. Russell Crowe donated. Steve Irwin's Wildlife Hospital, to no one's surprise, is looking after about 90,000 animals. Celeste Barber raised over 30 million through her donations page. Celebrities aside, I saw a woman at the post office who was talking about being on a disabilities pension who gave over $50 to the post office bushfire appeal. Canada has sent over a bunch of firefighters, so has the US. This isn't their country or their problem, and they probably missed out on some of their Christmas to come over here, but they still did it anyway. A girl somewhere, I think her name is the Naked Philanthropist? Philanthropist. She's been selling nudes at $10 a pop and apparently has raised around $700,000. Honestly, you love to see it. One of my favorite displays of solidarity as of late has been people yelling "fuck Scott Morrison" at different gigs. And on that note, bands and artists, local and international, have been hosting fundraising gigs around the country. There are pages on Facebook like the Bushfire Emergency Accommodation in Canberra that have been set up to connect people who have lost their homes with somewhere to stay. Scrolling through that page, there's people offering beds, showers, food, offering to clear out people's gutters if they have asthma. In just a few examples, a woman named Heather opened up her home to 35 people who was stranded. A mother of 5, just wrap your head around that alone, stayed up all night handing out water bottles to carloads of people who were stuck in standstill traffic trying to evacuate after the fires. 3 people named Jamie, Craig and Lockie organised a convoy of boats to take bread, water, baby formula, fresh fruit, snacks and toilet paper, which were all donated by local businesses to people in Conjola. A guy named Dan has been offering free rides to people like an elderly lady who needed to return back to her home to get her medication. Harvey Norman in Bateman's Bay stayed open and offered free coffee, free phone charging and Meals on Wheels to anyone who needed it. People have been feeding fireys for free, people have been hosting barbecues for free. The Animal Rescue Craft Guild has been inundated with offers with people to knit koala mittens, bird nests, bat wraps, joey pouches, obviously for kangaroos who have lost their mothers. A group of people have gone around Kangaroo Island collecting stranded koalas and just putting them in their car.
She's a mother with a baby. Just trying to collect as many live ones as we can.
There are restaurant owners everywhere cooking up free meals for people, but one in particular is the Desi Grill in Baronsdale, Victoria. There is currently a plane flying to Malakuta filled with 900 kilos of food and veterinary supplies for the kangaroos that have been injured there, and another one is scheduled to go out later today. Locals are using jet skis, paddle boards and dinghies to rescue complete strangers and also reunite families who are trapped in New South Wales towns affected by the fires. There's no doubt a lot of acts of kindness that I've missed and a lot more that will come that probably won't be recognised. As shit as everything is at the moment, it's always nice to stop and remember that there are people going out of their way to do good things. I've left a couple of links below where you can donate if you want to, namely the fire services. That's about all for this video, guys. If you're in one of the fire affected areas, stay safe. The world isn't entirely full of shit cunts and there's always people that are willing to help. If you're new here and you didn't punch a window having to listen to my voice, feel free to subscribe. My Instagram and all of my social media is linked below as well if that's up your alley. I give shout outs to people who follow me on Instagram and also people who put the notification bell on. YouTube shout outs go to Nilwork, Code Lockie, Amy Berkeley, Tiana Lucas and Lucy Evans. I think I've given one of you a shout out before. Instagram shout outs go to Yola Fitsari, Loco Coco 0307, Smile XEX, Miranda Shanae, Gabriella Samba, and Julianne O'Connell. Thank you guys for subscribing, commenting, etc. Thanks for watching and I will see you in a few days.